On June 28th this year, something started mining DigiByte with an algorithm that had been dead for 7 years. And sit with that, because DigiByte runs on 5 mining algorithms. 5. That's the whole design. It's the thing this chain is known for. And suddenly, there was a 6th one quietly producing blocks. DigiByte's own account is that somebody used an AI to study their consensus rules and found a door left unlocked during a code migration back in 2021. And here's what stopped me. That same chain, 6 weeks earlier, had rebuilt its entire code base using AI. 3 months for work that took 4 years last time. So by their own telling, artificial intelligence showed up on both sides of the same ledger. One version building, one version attacking. A regular viewer asked me whether DigiByte was, and I'm quoting him, either genius or delusion. Yeah, let's go answer that. So the beginning tells you almost everything. January 10th, 2014. Jared Tate launches DigiByte. And when you launch a blockchain, you write one message into the very first block, and it sits there forever. Nobody can edit it. Satoshi put a headline about a bank bailout into Bitcoin's first block, and everyone reads that as a statement about money. Tate did the same thing, but look what he chose. A USA Today headline about the Target data breach. Data on up to 110 million customers walking out the door. So Bitcoin's founding message is about monetary policy, and DigiByte's is about cybersecurity. Different obsession entirely, and it explains the next 12 years. Now, 2 things most videos get backwards. First, DigiByte didn't launch with 5 mining algorithms. It launched with 1, Script. That 5-algorithm system everybody calls its founding feature arrived 8 months later. Second, the pre-mine. You'll hear DigiByte had no pre-mine, and that isn't true. And the true version is better. There was one, about 0.5% of supply, disclosed up front in the launch announcement with the wallet addresses published so anyone could watch them. And people did. The very first replies on that thread were people shouting, "Pre-mine equals scam." Fair and immediate. 12 years later, both addresses are empty. The disclosure held up. And notice how the project words it today. Never funded through an ICO or a significant amount of pre-mined coins. Significant. That hedge word is doing real work. Okay, here's where DigiByte earns real respect. And this part is badly undertold. Early 2014, they had a problem a lot of small chains had. Mining pools would swarm in, take a burst of easy blocks, then leave. And the chain would be stuck at a difficulty far too high for whoever was left. Blocks would just stop. The fix out of the DigiByte community was DigiShield. Instead of adjusting difficulty every couple of weeks like Bitcoin, it readjusts between every single block. Difficulty drops almost instantly when miners leave, rises just as fast when they come back. Simple, elegant, and it worked well enough that other chains took it. And I don't mean they talked about it, I mean it shipped. Dogecoin adopted DigiShield, and Dogecoin's own release notes thank, quoting directly, the very clever folks at reddit.com/DigiByte. That's Dogecoin, in its own documentation, naming this project. The code is still in Dogecoin today. Zcash's protocol specification cites DigiShield too. Now, precision matters here. Read Dogecoin's actual source, and the comment beside that code credits 2 other names, Real Solid and WorldCoin. So the concept has an older lineage. DigiByte productionized it, named it, handed it onward. Nobody invented it alone, but the receipts are real, and they're sitting in other people's repositories. Then, in September 2014, came the 5 algorithms. Because if your chain takes blocks from 5 different algorithms, anyone trying to overpower it has to beat 5 mining ecosystems at once, not rent one kind of hardware. So that holds for a while. But then ASICs show up. Chips built to do one algorithm incredibly fast and nothing else. And when an ASIC lands on one of your 5 algorithms, that leg stops being decentralized, because one factory now decides who mines it. DigiByte's answer is one of the more creative things I've seen in this space. It's called Odocrypt, live at block 9.1 million in July 2019. And here's what it does. Odocrypt rewrites itself. Every 10 days, the algorithm mutates into a different version of itself. Designing a custom chip takes months, sometimes a year. So by the time your ASIC comes off the line, the algorithm it was built for doesn't exist anymore. A moving target on purpose, forever. But here's where the story turns. Odocrypt had to replace something. It replaced an older algorithm called Grostal. And retiring an algorithm on a live blockchain isn't just about stopping people using it. You need a rule saying explicitly, blocks made with this old algorithm are no longer valid. Reject them. That rule existed. It worked. And then, around 2021, DigiByte rebased onto a newer version of Bitcoin Core, which is the code base they're built on. And during that migration, that one enforcement check quietly went missing. Nobody noticed. Not for 4 years. And to be fair, this happens in real software all the time. The evidence is still in the code today. Open the file where DigiByte lists its algorithms, and Grostal is still sitting there, still numbered, right beside a line saying the number of algorithms is 5. So the door was open. It just needed somebody to try the handle. All right, now this year, and this is the stretch nobody is covering. Two things happen, and they're the same technology pointed in opposite directions. Start with the building. September 2025, DigiByte ships a release merging a much newer version of Bitcoin Core into their codebase. Big, unglamorous, necessary plumbing. And in the release notes, they say something remarkable. That what previously took 4 years and a large team was done in 3 months, using AI-assisted development. That's their claim about their own velocity, so hold it loosely. But the shipped code is right there. Then in November, a GitHub account appears called DigiSwarm. Its entire bio is 4 words, $DGB AI Dev Team. And over the following months, that account is authoring pull requests and publishing official releases for a live blockchain. Now this is easy to oversell. It's not an autonomous machine loose on a chain. DigiSwarm is DigiByte's own name for its AI-assisted development effort, tied closely to Jared Tate, and when the big one landed, a human merged it. And the big one was DigiDollar, their native stablecoin, built into the consensus rules rather than bolted on as a smart contract. 352,000 lines of code, merged in 3 days. And then, right in the middle of that same window, the 6th algorithm shows up. Whoever it was found that missing check and mined the retired algorithm at the lowest possible difficulty, making those blocks almost free. The network split. Newer nodes accepted them, older nodes rejected them, and explorers started disagreeing about what the chain even was. Now the AI part is DigiByte's characterization, not something independently proven. No forensics were published, and the attacker was never identified. What is verifiable is what happened next. The fix shipped in about 35 hours, and they published the whole breakdown themselves. The attacker's addresses, the exact block, a section literally titled, "Was this a 51% attack?" Their answer? No coins stolen, no confirmed transactions reversed, and of the 100+ competing branches that appeared, not one ever outworked the real chain. Publishing your own incident report in that much detail, that fast, is not normal in this industry. So where does that leave DigiByte today? I want to give you the real picture, good and awkward, because you deserve both. The good is genuinely good. DigiDollar went live about 5 days ago, not just shipped, activated, signaled in by miners, running. And when I checked their live dashboard while making this, the system is healthy. Over-collateralized at 402%, meaning there's $4 of DigiByte locked behind every dollar of DigiDollar that exists. 31 price oracles running. Their own repository even contains a document titled, "How does DigiDollar not do a Luna?" They wrote the rebuttal before anyone made the criticism. Now the awkward part, and it's the number that answers our whole question. The total amount of DigiDollar in existence right now is about $20,000. 20 grand. That's the whole thing. Beautiful engineering, 31 oracles, over-collateralized, tested against a real attack, holding about as much value as a used car. Same story with the plumbing. For that price feed to work, mining pools have to run upgraded software, and right now just 2 pools out of 19 are doing it. That's a low single-digit share of blocks. And I'll give DigiByte credit. They publish that number themselves and call the pools that haven't upgraded the outreach list. They're not hiding it. The wider ecosystem is thinner than the website suggests too. 2 nonprofits were set up to support this thing, and both quietly went dark without ever announcing it. The project's answer today is to advertise having no foundation and no company as a feature rather than a gap, which is honest. But it does mean that when something needs doing, there's nobody whose job it is. So, genius or delusion? I don't think it's either, and the reason is kind of moving. This is a chain that keeps inventing genuinely good things and keeps underbuilding the boring institutional stuff around them. Dogecoin shipped DigiShield, and DigiByte never got a business out of it. Odocrypt is brilliant, and retiring the algorithm it replaced left a gap open for 4 years. DigiDollar is careful and thoughtfully built, and it holds $20,000. The engineering keeps showing up. The scaffolding keeps not showing up. That's not delusion, and it's not genius. That's what it looks like when a project is a handful of volunteers and a founder who never actually left. Because here's the thing about Jared Tate. He publicly stepped back in 2020, said he was burned out on the greed in this industry, called it a summer sabbatical, and everybody wrote the obituary. He's now the third most prolific contributor in this codebase's history, and he was pushing commits the day I researched this video. The sabbatical was just a sabbatical. So here's what I'd take away, and you can check it yourself for free. Go watch the bundle coverage number on their stats site. The share of blocks carrying a signed DigiDollar price update, currently down in the low single digits. If DigiDollar becomes real, that number climbs and the bigger pools appear on that list. If it sits flat for months, that tells you something too. It's falsifiable, it costs nothing, and they can't spin it because they're the ones publishing it. And the bigger lesson, when a project's own wording hedges, like no significant premin, go look at what that hedge is covering. That habit will serve you everywhere in this space. So that's DigiByte, 12 years old, never actually stopped building, and running one of the more interesting experiments in this industry with barely anybody watching. If this was useful, a like genuinely helps the channel, and subscribing means you'll catch the next one. And if you hold DigiByte or mine it, or you think I've got something wrong here, tell me in the comments. Some of the best corrections on this channel have come from you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.